Hello YouTube, I'm Dapie45 and welcome to my channel. So in last week's video, I got Taco pretty up and she's in her dress now, but she still needs to learn some tricks. So I decided to get her some treats and to teach her some tricks so that she could show off to the other dogs. Not just look the part, but be able to act the part too of one of those Beverly Hills Chihuahuas. So come join me as I try to train Taco some new tricks. So sit. That's not... So sit. That's all I'm saying, Taco. Sit. What? I don't know what's wrong. I keep doing the sit motion, but she just won't sit. She just keeps rolling over. Come on, Taco, sit. Sit, Taco, sit. Come on, Taco, sit. Sit. That's not sitting. How are you gonna learn these tricks? If you need to show off to those dogs, you're gonna have to learn some new tricks. Wait a minute. That's it. If you watch Beverly Hills Chihuahua 2, maybe you could learn some new tricks. The first one was very helpful, so the second one is bound to help us even more. Alright Taco, now that I finished watching that movie, I think it's time to teach you some new tricks. But before we get to doing that, we got to do a movie review first. Beverly Hills Chihuahua 2 follows the first movie in that Chloe and Poppy are both getting married and have puppies. And then the main story of this movie is that they try to save Poppy's home that he grew up in from being sold and taken away from the bank. In my opinion, this movie is okay. It's just like the first movie is made for kids, but of course the first movie is better. But this movie was just direct to DVD and it wasn't the best movie that was made. Of course, since the first one did pretty well, I assume, they wanted to make a second sequel, but didn't do well enough to put in theaters, so they just put it on disc instead and sold it that way. Because I don't remember seeing it ever in theaters, just probably as the DVD or even on Disney Channel when it played. But of course, it is made for kids. It has the same feeling as the first movie, in that it is made for kids and they like to focus on the puppies who are like children too. So it's okay, but it's not as good as the first one, which of course isn't the best movie ever either. All the characters in this movie are pretty enjoyable because they're the same characters as the first movie, or most of them I should say. However, the actors that did play those other characters are different in this movie, since I guess a lot of the actors didn't want to return for the second one. So a lot of the faces look different than before, or even the voices sound different, but it's okay. They're still the same characters and they're just as enjoyable as they are in the first movie. Something weird about this movie too is that they bring back the character of Delgado. And the reason why that's weird is because Delgado was a police dog that stayed in Mexico to help the police force there. However, he wants to go to California, around Beverly Hills area, to talk to his sons who he left at the police station in California, but then went back home to Mexico. So I thought that was weird. Of course, they had to make that up just to bring Delgado back into the movies and to give him a reason to be there. But it was, again, it's a little weird because what are the chances of the same dog that helped Chloe out in Mexico happened to leave the dogs in California and Beverly Hills, where around the area where Chloe and Poppy live. So I thought it was a little weird, but of course the kids movie is direct to DVD and it wasn't the best movie, so I'm not really too surprised, but it's just a little odd inclusion that they decided to do. I give this movie a fire rating of 5.5 out of 10. It's not the best movie. The first one is clearly better than this one, but of course that's not really saying too much since the first one wasn't the best either. But of course it is enjoyable, especially for children. But of course I wouldn't just suggest you watch this. I'm sure if you just watch the first one, then you're good. Unless you're really curious to see what happens to Chloe and Poppy after the first one, then you can watch this one. But other than that, I suggest that you don't. Well, now that we finished this movie review, I think it's time for you to learn some new tricks, Taco. So sit. Okay, that's roll over, but good job, I guess. At least she knows the one move.